is News 4 Tucson, live at 10.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Vinzane.
And I'm Aliyah Shahid. There's now a new push to try and legalize recreational marijuana in Arizona.
And as News 4 Tucson's Eric Fink tells us, a new poll suggests people who are for it have the momentum.
The country is going in that direction. The train has already left the station.
Mo Asnani owns the D2 dispensary on Tucson's east side. He wants a marijuana measure on the ballot in front of Arizona voters in 2020.
Older voters are starting to understand the wisdom of allowing access to cannabis for marijuana. It is just a natural evolution for more people to say that they're going to vote yes for marijuana. And that's why 2020, I think, will be successful in Arizona.
A new poll conducted by a firm in Phoenix shows double-digit support among Arizonans for legalization. In 2016, Prop 205 would have legalized recreational pot here. It was shot down by more than 60,000 votes. Sheila Polk is the Yavapai County attorney and the chair of Arizonans for Responsible Drug Policy. She's fought hard against legal pot and plans to do battle again.
It is a failed experiment, and Arizona voters need to wake up, to do the research and make that decision. Look at what has happened in other states, that we don't have to repeat their failures.
Former state lawmaker Todd Clodfelter tried to get a bill passed in the legislature on this issue, and he says he could support a pot proposition at the polls.
If it's put on the ballot and written well, I do believe it'll pass. This is one of those, I think, a stigma has been attached to the use of marijuana, and I think it needs to go and allow adults to make their own decisions and not be overburdened with the government involvement in their life.
10 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized recreational marijuana for adult use, including 5 states here in the West. Almost 200,000 Arizonans have a medical marijuana card. And Asnani says he doesn't believe there's a more bipartisan issue out there right now than marijuana.
What will happen is, if we don't do this now, we will have fallen behind, and the states around us will become much more influential markets where our citizens will be going and spending money and giving the tax revenue to those states instead of, buying locally.
On the east side, I'm Eric Fink, News 4 Tucson.
Developing tonight, the Wildlife World Zoo Aquarium and Safari say that the Jaguar that injured a woman on Saturday will not be euthanized. Officials say she was attacked by the animal after she went over a barrier and tried to get a selfie. Zoo officials say the woman suffered non-life-threatening injuries right after the incident happened. Concern poured in from all over social media about what would happen to the Jaguar. Zoo officials say that because the animal never left her enclosure, she will not be put down.
Arizona businessman and UA alum Carl Eller has passed away at the age of 90. Eller is the namesake of the university's Eller College of Management. During his career, he helped make Circle K one of the most successful convenience stores in the nation. A statement regarding Eller's death says he passed away peacefully at his Phoenix home.
Well, today was the calm before the storm weather-wise, but we still saw those gusty winds, and right now we're sitting in the 60s at the airport under partly cloudy skies, and winds are out of the west-southwest at 13 miles per hour. So the winds are still breezy, but we saw wind gusts even higher. In fact, we saw wind gusts near 40 miles per hour in Show Low, 30 in Safford, and 36 in Tucson. These will taper off overnight, but they'll be back up again tomorrow. In fact, we can see that cloud cover moving across the state, along with some isolated showers to our north. But it's this low pressure system off the coast of California that's going to drive into our area over the next 24 hours, bringing a very, very different change to our forecast. In fact, tomorrow looks like this. We'll see gusty winds in the afternoon. We'll see valley rain and mountain snow start to develop, and we'll also see a chance for thunderstorms. How much rain and when will we see this move through? Well, I'll break all of that down coming up in our full forecast. Nick, Leah?
Thank you, Stephanie. This week, President Donald Trump will continue his fight for a border wall. On Monday, President Trump will release his 2020 budget, which includes another $8.6 billion in funding for the law. Democratic leaders say the strategy won't work, though, and could lead to another government shutdown. Jennifer Johnson has the details.
President Trump ramping up the border wall battle again. In his 2020 budget to be released Monday, the president will ask for another $8.6 billion for the wall. The White House forging ahead to build 722 miles of barrier.
The whole issue of the wall and border security is of paramount importance. We have a crisis down there. I think the president has made that case very effectively.
The budget has to be funded before October 1st, or the government could shut down again. Democratic leaders say the president's funding plan could already be dead on arrival. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer warning the president in a statement Sunday the same thing will repeat itself if he tries this again. We hope he learned his lesson. The last government shutdown cost the U.S. economy $11 billion. The funding increase for the wall comes as the Senate this week is likely to join the House in rejecting the president's emergency declaration. Even some Republicans say there is a better approach.
You can put what I call the smart wall along the border on all 2,000 miles in less than a year and gain operational control of the border.
The president's proposed budget includes stiff cuts to domestic, anti-poverty, and environmental protection programs. The White House now asking for billions more for the wall while dismissing concerns about the rising budget deficit, now approaching $1 trillion. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
An Ethiopian Airlines flight crashed Sunday, killing all 157 people on board, including 8 Americans. That flight lost contact with the control tower just a few minutes after takeoff. The aircraft reportedly shattered into pieces and was severely burnt. Clothing and personal items were scattered across the crash site. Safety experts say it is too early to determine the cause.
Tucson police say the person involved in a motorcycle crash near Valencia and Missiondale on Saturday has died. Officials say 28-year-old Carlos Amenta was turning off of Valencia when the driver of a Camaro turned in front of him. Amenta tried to avoid the collision, but it was too late. He was taken to the hospital but was not able to survive. The driver of the Camaro stayed on scene and is cooperating with police. No word yet on if charges will be filed.
A group of motorcycle riders came together this morning to raise money for Arizona state schools for the deaf and blind.
And as News 4 Tucson's Danelle Confair tells us, some of the children also got the ride of their life.
I just ride a motorcycle.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Several children got to enjoy a motorcycle ride Sunday morning thanks to the Old Pueblo riders.
Such a great day to be out here. The best part is to watch the kids get rides on the motorcycles. They love it. Some of them are unable to hear, so they feel the motorcycles and they feel the rumble, and it just puts smiles on their faces, and ours too.
It's all part of the 16th annual Run for Kids, which raises money for the Arizona State Schools for the Deaf and Blind. The motorcycle group has raised over $120,000 for the school in the past 15 years.
She was born profoundly deaf, and she's bilaterally implanted, and she was implanted at 10 months old and 13 months old.
She says events like this show how much the community cares.
I know that a while back that they donated $400 towards FMs for her preschool, and she's been in preschool here for 2.5 years. So it's pretty amazing that the community gets together and helps, and it affects her directly, which is even more amazing.
And we had a contest, and I drew this picture, and it got picked for the contest for the t-shirts.
For more information on the Arizona State Schools for the Deaf and Blind, we have a link on our website at KBOA.com. I'm Danelle Confair, News 4 Tucson.
It's such a great story. Coming up next on News 4 Tucson Live at 10, a charity bicycling event took place in downtown Tucson today. How it brought riders of all skill levels together.
Plus, rescue crews in California saved a man who ended up stuck on the side of a cliff. Details after the break. Keep it here. News 4 at 10. We'll be right back.
Investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson.